Couple of scenarios to consider. Maybe it's late at night and you need some cough drops, or you're making dinner and you realize you're one ingredient short.
Yeah, soon some people in the Omaha area will have an option to get these items delivered in minutes. First Alert 6 Sydney Babb shows us how Amazon's Air Prime drones work and looks into the safety questions around this service.
The next time you order an Amazon package, it could be coming from this. This is one of their new delivery drones, and you can see it's taller than I am, but this machine is built for convenience.
Amazon plans to launch delivery drones by the end of the summer. Customers who live within 8 miles of its Papillion fulfillment center will see the option on some products.
Anything that a customer orders that weighs 5 pounds or less and fits in this box can be delivered via drone if they live within an 8-mile radius of our site.
There are exceptions for breakable items, which would not survive a drop from the drone. Customers who use the service will choose where the drone will drop the package. You can pick from a few options: your backyard, driveway, or building entrance. Then you get your package in just 20 minutes.
It is not a trial. This is something that, again, we've delivered hundreds of thousands of packages with over the last couple of years.
The innovation naturally brings up questions about security. A local cybersecurity expert tells me he's excited to see it launch, but he sees vulnerabilities with the service.
From the cybersecurity perspective, I like to point it out, there might be a few attack services, what we call in cybersecurity term, that may lead, misread the operation of the, delivery drones.
One of those potential problems he sees is hackers taking over the drone mid-route. It's something Amazon already has safeguards for.
The drones are autonomous, so when the drone takes off, it is not actively taking any kind of instructions from anywhere off of outside the drone. So as it's flying, there is nobody providing inputs, and the system is not designed for anybody to provide inputs on where it is going.
The drones are equipped with cameras, which might bring another safety concern, but Amazon says you need not worry about them.
Those cameras are just used in flight for the drone to be able to look at obstacles, if they see anything it needs to avoid. It is not used to look at what's in your backyard or anything like that.
Amazon says the footage isn't sent anywhere outside of the drone and eventually disappears. With every safety measure considered, Amazon hopes to provide convenience.
This is like an extra gear of ultra-fast delivery for customers that need something really quick.
Now, the good news, this isn't eliminating delivery drivers' jobs. Amazon says they're adding about 40 positions for the service. The FAA is currently accepting comments about the program in Papillion. You can submit feedback for the next week. Amazon does not expect any issues with getting the FAA to sign off on this.